Hey there, team, and welcome to my first fight on this new test version. So this is going to be what I've got here. I've got two battles, two just 1v1s. I will be focusing on them because I'm kind of interested with how they went, and I'm needing to sort of pick some things apart a little bit from my playstyle. But this is primarily going to be serving as a bit of a backdrop to just me examining the units, especially of some of my favorite factions, and also just like a channel update of sorts. I'm just going to lower the camera speed. I can do that in here, right? Because I was just noticing we're a little bit too swift. Let me go with that. I think that was kind of swift enough. Okay, this is a little bit better. Yeah, this is definitely better for like viewing. I think when I play, I tend to have the camera speed a little bit higher, so I need to adjust that back and forth. So also, this is the first 1v1 I had played in about a year, at least. Yeah, probably about a year. And then also it's the second Reforged battle that I'd played in in about sort of 6 months. So it's a bit but please be somewhat kind. But anyway, firstly, I'll have a look through Cardolan's roster here, because I say Cardolan is tied with Rhour, my favorite faction. So anytime there's a change to Cardolan or Rhour, I'm very focused on that. I'm very interested in that. God, he's gorgeous. One sec. Yeah, so no longer do we have Mithriath spears. That was something that's a bit odd to me. Definitely a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm gonna miss my boys. But we no longer really have the Greenway garrison spears. We have these Tharbad toll keepers. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna miss having those Mithriath boys. But I didn't actually check the stats of these toll keepers. Overall, don't think I was disappointed with how they were. So instead of having this like militia tier and mainline spear, we've got these Tharbad toll keepers to take that place. Behind them, we have the Cardolan sharpshooters. Of course, now Cardolan sharpshooters were the Mithriath sharpshooters. I say these are the first unit we're seeing that have got this absolutely freaking gorgeous look. When I first saw these on a new Mad video, I was unsure because I really quite like the Mithriath look, but I've said it before, I'm really not good at change. I'm really bad at change. So it took me a minute, but no, genuinely these guys look freaking awesome. I really love them. I love this little like pelt that they've got on the back, so that kind of sets them apart because they look. I think that the dev team have really nailed the aesthetic of these guys. Yeah, they do have that sort of Cardolan green, but you can really see the Númenórean heritage in their armor, in their chest plate. This is clearly like, this matches alongside the Gondorian forces really nicely. But I think that little pelt and, as I say, the green aesthetic sets them apart from Gondorians nicely. It makes it clear, like, no, this is something else. This is an Arnorian force. So yeah, big fan. And of course, I'm always going to take them. This is my standard front line, so I'm playing this the same way that I used to always play 1v1s. My spread out spears up front just to catch anything. Behind them, my spread out crossbows or archers in some cases to actually engage in a skirmish fight with my enemy. Of course, gatekeepers in the center, I give them an armor upgrade because I'm really exposing them to a lot of fire, putting them up here, so I want them to be able to take it. It's quite a high quality unit to have exposed like that. So I need to know that if the enemy's gonna be beating them down, they're spending a big investment doing it. I'm trying to think, have they always had that little? I don't think. I'm pretty sure they've always had that the crown on their chest plate, but I've never really paid much attention to it before. Maybe that is a new thing. And then sharpshooters on their flanks. So yeah, three of the boys there. On the right flank, I've got my Merc Cav. Really not, nothing much has changed from these boys. This guy's wearing his hat very low down. But yeah, so Merc Cav on either flank there. Not really going to be besting anything in a proper fight, but good enough to catch the enemy. Actually, oh wait, are they AP? They're all wielding maces. They didn't used to be AP. Maybe that's something I didn't actually notice about them. Maybe that's a new change. Now, also, normally I wouldn't take rangers in this sort of confrontation, but I thought, hell, got the they've changed now. They're no longer body piercing. Let's check them out. So this is a lot of range power I've got in this force, and I didn't actually check the kills at the end of this battle. So we'll see how they actually end up doing. But I'm assuming, yeah, just high damage. They're 8 damage arrow. That's pretty damn heavy for an arrow damage. Nice and accurate and long range too, but a decent investment to be sure. To their side, Generalin with the Hearthguard, of course, so that's another range unit I've got. I really like the Captain. I think he looks, yeah, he's a cool looking dude for sure. Behind them, Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad. I don't think, do they look different? I'm not actually sure. I think so. Oh, the Captain. Is the Captain changed? No, the Captain still is his old look, which thank goodness, because I really do like that Captain model. I think for some reason the helmets look different. Maybe. And of course, Greenway Garrison Footmen are now these Greenway Footmen. They've got this Tharbad look to them, this blue. So that's quite a nice touch. Yep, giving my movement orders there for the boys. And then in the back, we've got the Cardolan Men-at-Arms, which are, of course, replacing the Minhiriath Men-at-Arms. And again, just nice, yeah, looking great. Same thing with the sharpshooters there. The only thing that I was worried about with these guys is looking at them, I was like, oh my god, these guys look badass. These guys look like absolute chadnots, don't they? And I worry that maybe they're not quite as good as the aesthetic makes them seem. But I'm not against that idea, because yeah, I mean, this is take from Cardolan. Cardolan at, I guess, peak. You know, these men-at-arms are really able to wear some damn good quality armor, despite, you know, maybe they're not actually top tier experience and training. But again, I think it really matches this nice Cardolan aesthetic. Then the Tharbad Warhammers there. Now I gave them an armor upgrade here, so I should have checked how they looked without the armor upgrade. I don't know if it changes them, but I just thought, because I no longer have my Dunedain Captains. Dunedain Captains are now a mounted melee cavalry force, which I think I can genuinely take sometimes, but I used to always take 2 Dunedain Captains as part of my forces. So now that I've only got 1 Tharbad Warhammer to be my melee powerhouse, I wanted to make it as good as I possibly could, so I gave it that armor upgrade. But again, looking just astounding there. I really like the look of the boys there. Tharbad Riders, of course, too. That's always a certain pick for me. I think quite a nice cost, and they've got that 20 charge bonus, which there's not a lot of those mid-tier Lancers or mid-high tier Lancers that have 20 charge. So they're a certain pick for me. I really need them, and I've got the Merc Cav to keep them safe. Quite chuffed a bit. I've got so yeah, Pathan was nice enough to do these 2 fights with me just to make sure I'd installed all the patch content properly, and he's playing as Rhovanion. So that's great. This is my first time ever seeing Rhovanion in the game. Of course, I've been watching Umad's content for a bit, so I've got a general vibe of how they are, how they play, but you know, it's still going to be a test to see how they actually perform here. So Pathan's got his archers there, these tribal levies behind them, and now these saber-tooth riders, absolutely daunting looking guys. I know very little about their capabilities. I didn't look at their stats or anything before this, but I saw them during the battle, and I assumed, yep, we're melee cav, we're cav hunters. I thought these guys were basically wargs on steroids, is my current viewpoint of them. So maybe, you know, we'll actually see how those clash. We do get some cav on cav clashes going on, so we can actually sort of pay a bit of attention to those. Up front, he's got a nice line of these skirms. I saw that and I was a little bit sad straight away, because I brought all these crossbows, and I don't really want to be spending my crossbow fire on these skirmishers, but I also don't want those skirmishers rattling into my javelin lines. And he's got some slingers on the far left flank too, which I believe they're AP, and they've got just hell of lots of ammo. But that's all I really know about them. I don't think they're very high damage. I think they're kind of the same vibe as the Hobbit slingers. His main line is made up of these Rovanen Hoplons and some Rovakin Phalanx and Rovakin Hoplons. So yeah, I saw that. I saw that they were shielded, but these guys are really where I thought I was going to be wanting to pour my crossbow fire into. Even though they're shielded, I assumed it was going to be a rather small shield value, and I still just thought if I can wipe out his pikes, or at least really damage his pikes with my crossbows, then my pikes will be able to win the day. Over here we've got the Berserkers. Again, I thought, right, okay, this is where I'm wanting to pour my arrow fire from my Hearthguard and my Rangers as well. This was I saw these guys and I thought, great, good, Rangers. This will be perfect for them. And so I try to. This is where I really want to focus a lot of that fire onto. He does have these nobles as well. And yeah, I think I do try and get some shots into them, and then the general absolutely gorgeous too. More berserkers there, and Rhovanion lancers as well. So a bit daunting, nice sort of sizable unit. And again, I don't know how much of a charge they have. I'm expecting quite a bit. I think that they do have quite a nice look to them, and they are specifically called lancers as well. So a bit of a fear. He's got his Rhovanion archers and some tribal levy spears on the flank. So nice wide formation, whereas I've gone for depth. Now the reason I go for depth is so that I can basically do what I'm doing right now. Right away at the start of a 1v1, what I often do is I'll grab everything in a group order and shove it on your side. And also we're playing on Anduin here. I don't really like playing on the grassy flats. You know, I know that it's perfect for a nice fair fight, but I tend to like to play on a map with a little bit of something. Now, I know this gives me a bit of a height advantage. You can see from the map I do have the high ground, and what I'm trying to do here is achieve even more of a high ground advantage. But my only argument would be he could adjust too. You know, up here, but I totally get, you know, that it is immediately weighted a bit in my favor. So we'll go to 0.4. As I say, this is I really want to pick apart my play here quite nicely, and I do have some other things to explain. So we'll rattle through the kind of the announcement side of it first. I've got my notes. I've got my notes perfectly written on an unopened envelope about my old dental insurance from my previous job. So that's good. I really should open this, but hey, I'm no longer dental insured. So thank you, NHS Dental Care. You got me back. Anyway, so we've got what have I been doing for the past year? I've not really been posting very much this past year, a little bit over Christmas, but that was all you really had from me. Reason for that was just I've been in a shore-based role. I used to be working at sea. It's what I've always done ever since I was 18. Left high school, started working at sea. Did a little bit of a shore-based job during COVID, of course, but that was again just a very short-term thing. This is what I've been doing for the past year. I loved it. I really enjoyed the job. It was a fun job. It was stressful, but it was incredibly busy. It really soaked up my time, and whenever I was home, I'm afraid I just didn't have the energy to record, and I didn't really have the time and ability to get that done. So that's kind of in short where I've been, and the reason that I've not really been posting. I'm afraid it's just been time. I know that being at sea, I'm busier than I could ever possibly be, but at least when I come home, I can fully record as much as humanly possible. And that's, as I say, kind of the same vibe as what Umad has, but I believe Umad still does have duties at. I believe he does still have a 9-to-5 job when he works, when he is at home. Whereas for me, when I come home, it's nothing. So that's why I'm able to sort of spam out these recordings when I do get home. So as I say, yeah, let's raise my notes again so I don't forget anything. I need to do this or my scatterbrain is going to just jump around like crazy. Let's actually speed it up just slightly. I will try and focus on the important moments, but we'll speed up to 0.6. Just to give you guys something to look at if you're not willing to hear my voice. Yeah, other issues with the job. I was having to live somewhere I didn't really want to. Wasn't a terrible place, just in the far south of England, but it wasn't home. The whole reason I went to sea, the whole reason I took a job that allowed me to work at sea was so that I could choose wherever I wanted to live. And this job didn't allow me to. I had to work in this town that was very expensive, and I'm actually putting some shots into them. I do change that course shortly. You can see here I'm a little bit unsure about how to approach the skirmish situation. If he's going to go into my tollkeepers, I'm not really too worried, but I really don't want him unloading javelins into something like the gatekeepers. So you see I actually try and test my men-at-arms here. I get them moving up to actually try and engage some of these forces and see what we can do with that. Over here we're about to have a little cav engagement as well. slow down just a little bit. So as I say, that was one of the other reasons I had to live in this town that was quite expensive, not really where I wanted to be. So yeah, I wasn't really able to save any money, and I wasn't home. Home is as I say, the far north of Scotland, and that's what this is all about, to try and make sure I can be where I want to be. And so I decided to come home for one of those reasons, and also, as I say, it's just bloody expensive, dude. Oh, gee, we're sick. It was not cheap living down there. So I wasn't really able to save too much money. Not as much money as I do at sea. Social life was fantastic. Lost out on a lot of good friends moving back up north. But again, you know, it's just what you have to do in this with this situation. That is dope. That's all my first section. So yeah, back home now, and I'm going to be going back to sea. So we got this first clash here. Now I know straight away my Merc Cav are going to get ripped up by these Sabertooth riders. I don't really know much about the riders, but I knew they're going to rip them up. I was trying to get shots in with my crossbows, but it doesn't look like I got a single shot. You can see my sharpshooter's a little bit confused there. Over here, we've had a little clash there with my men-at-arms now into those slingers. I'm absolutely tearing them apart. I just kind of trusted my men-at-arms are there. He's not rushing me too quick. My men-at-arms are pretty damn sturdy, so I can probably take that. He's trying to pull the sharpshooters back. I did it here again with a second unit of my men-at-arms. Rattled some down, got them chased away. But those skirmishers, I've not engaged them. Who is he going for, I wonder? Have I been... Looks like... I see, I've got my boys spread out. All these guys are shielded as well, so they're not just relying on their armor. Looks like it's going over into the crossbows. So yeah, definitely sad to see these guys go down to javelin fire, but I prefer they take it than the likes of my pikes or something like that, in all honesty. So that's okay. Perhaps, you know, he could have rushed up here, maybe reached them. But yeah, so now I'm back working at sea. And oh, I missed that. I did a little... I had them engaged there, and I actually charged my Tharbad riders into their backs, which, I mean, I lost a lot of cav doing it, but I think I gave those little cats something to worry about for a minute. Then yeah, so I will try and finish off the explanations, and then I'll get back to the battle, because I'm losing track of things. Going back to sea now. So I've got a little... what my first thing that I'm actually off to do is I'm actually off to do a little volunteer charity roll. Heading down to Africa, going to be sailing a boat around there for about 5 months. I say just to make myself feel all warm and fuzzy inside, trying to do something a bit nice. So I'll do that for a little bit, and then I do have a roll starting next year on a cruise ship. So that's back into the old swing of things. But it's very possible, maybe, this year at sea and the year during COVID has maybe made me soft, and I might join this little charity ship and realise, mate, I do not want to go back to sea. And if that's the case, then yeah, I'll just do the charity ship, and we'll try and find another job on land. But I think, I mean, hopefully it's the way I remember it. So that's the Ranger fire there opening up into these Lancers. Would have really liked to hit my crossbows, but my crossbows are a little bit... Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I could be spinning them around. You see, I am focusing a lot of my attention to crossbows opening up to those Lancers too. They are shielded. They are nicely armoured, but I have dropped a few of them now too. And I know that somebody's got to take this hit. For some reason, I didn't see the big pikes staring me right in the face. It's like, mate, just get the pikes on them. But I was like, oh no, my spear's already engaged. I can't use anything. So yeah, that's why I didn't really use the pikes straight away. So that's alright. So that's what we're doing for now. So I will be going back to sea. And of course, when I'm at sea for these 5 months, I will not be able to record anything. Because it's a charity role, it's not... I don't think I'm going to be as rushed off my feet as I would be in a standard role. I think I'll be very busy, but it won't be crazy. I think I do get my weekends to myself and so on. So I should still be very active on the YouTube scene. You'll see me still responding to comments on my own videos. You'll still see me watching Umad's videos or any other YouTube content, any other Reforged or Total War content creator. You'll see me popping up a fair bit too. I do like to just follow what everybody's up to. It's a good way to learn. So that is good. Then, but in general, won't be recording videos, I don't think. So what you've got is then, yeah, dope. So that's that. So what does that all mean for everybody? What does that mean in terms of my actual video output? I'm going to be putting out still one video a week, one Reforged video a week, and I have that already recorded up until January. I have one Reforged video a week prepared. Oh, you see those little stones? Ouch! Bit clicking and clacking into my armor there. But yeah, so I have that already recorded up for until January, which is a great thing. But after that, we'll see how far I'm able to get. I've still got about half a month before I actually leave, so the dream would be maybe pushing through February. I don't quite know how much content I'll be able to make. Along with that, there will be other random videos that I'm putting out. Say videos from Carrier Command that me and my friends are playing, or me and my friends played last year, or other various little bits and bobs. Please don't feel any pressure to watch those videos. I do not mind what they end up getting support wise. They really are just as a bit of memory for myself and a bit of fun. That's why I tend to put out those videos. So if they're not your cup of tea, really do not worry about it. I support your viewership either way, on whatever you want to do. And that's that. Yeah, awesome. So throw that away. What are we on to now? I'll have a quick run through the battlefield. So you can see I've been relatively successful with my crossbow fire. You can see all the way along all of these phalanxes, I've tried to rattle some good shots at them before we've actually engaged. Now he has sort of pressed into my front line. I've sent in my men-at-arms first, and now my pikes are following. Usually, of course, you'd want to have them going pretty much at the same time. But, yeah, a little bit... I guess I was a little bit worried about his archer fire. I didn't want to... I didn't want to get my archer... Well, I didn't want to get my pikes shot to pieces by any archers. So I've kept them back until the clash is really committed, which is allowing his berserkers to absolutely smash... Ah, okay, my berserkers were not targeting them. I was pushing through to the skirmishers, and I've been charged by the berserkers. I see. So the berserkers are really ripping me up. It's a bit nasty, a bit unpleasant to be sure. Over there, again, Tollkeeper's trying their best. He's actually pushing really far around me with those archers. And, oh, yeah, because you can see here how far around he's sort of flanked. He's got his riders backing up this flanking force as the last of my mercenaries are gone. Oh, dear, I didn't spot this. He grabbed my riders. Oh, fuck. Okay, so I'm assuming, again, those saber-tooth riders are going to absolutely rip me up. But we're slippery. We are very slippery. Because you can see here, I seem to have been trying to charge those levy in the back. But I do spot that they turn around soon. Or I realize that they can turn around anytime they want, so I get my riders away from that. No point in throwing their lives away. Sending in my last unit of Cardolan men-at-arms. I was very surprised how cheap these guys are. I don't know if we're adjusting money, adjusting cost throughout the test version, but yeah, those guys were not expensive. 450 coins. Yeah, which is really, I expected them to be a lot more. They used to be about, say, 550 or 500 at least for a Menhiriath men-at-arms. Over here, finally got my pikes engaging, got my Tharbad Warhammers getting thrown on in here as well. I want to get them involved in the combat. I didn't really pick this specifically for them. If I could go back, probably the nobles I should have sent them on forward to. But that would have run the risk of maybe taking a little javelin fire. And I think that's what I wanted to avoid. Yeah, that's why I threw them on into here. But yeah, God, they are gorgeous, aren't they? I really do like the Cardolan aesthetic. I think it's so nice. I always have. But I think I'm going to miss the purple look to a lot of things. But I think it's nice that we've got this sort of constantly green and this light blue look. I think it does look pretty great. Men-at-arms doing their best, but again, I'd hope to be doing pretty well against those skirms, but it's the few berserkers that are mixed in amongst this that are causing just great damage to me. Those Cardolan guys really just relying on that armor to keep them safe. Yeah, they're not so much like Rudour, they got some level of defensive skill, But when somebody's coming at you with something that is just ripping your armor in half, it's a bit messy. Over here, having a much better fight with my men-at-arms. Oh, good stuff. Good to see that that's still in the game. Loved it. Love it. That T-pose of that frantic T-pose of death is fantastic to see. Still not got the wardens in there. It's because he's he's got this unit of tribal spears all the way behind me. I know tribal spears are not really the most devastating unit in the world, and maybe I should just ignore them and send those wardens into the fight. And ooh, what were we shooting? Saber-toothed riders, surely. I wouldn't be. Yeah, Saber-toothed riders still at 17, so they're still active. Whenever I can, I've got my crossbows shooting at them. I think we're seeing some of these guys turning around to try and get that done. But got a nasty charge incoming here. This is where I'm really enjoying the fight, just grinding these guys down very, very nicely. You can see just how they've lost barely anybody just because of how sturdy they are. But that charge is going to be absolutely ruining them. They were 200 before that charge, maybe 199, and that has brought them down immediately to 157, and that could have even been a break. My god, they almost did. Had they been fighting something a little bit more scary than just the archers, then that could have been them out of there from that charge. And that was just with, what, 16, 17 of these... No, that was just 16 saber-toothed riders there. And they dealt that much of a damage. That's... but, I mean, that's what we expect from, like, as I say, a high-tier warg charge or a high-tier melee cavalry charge into the back. Over in this left blob, having a bit of trouble, but again, that's because I don't have any pikes over here, because the wardens have been mucking about trying to deal with this. Again, yeah, I'm trying to swat a fly with a rocket launcher at this point. It's a bit unnecessary. I should have just had something else come over to deal with these little spearmen. But he's engaging now. Got my Hearthguard there. Again, my Hearthguard can deal with these guys. He does have some berserkers, so it's a pretty chaotic fight. There's not really a front line formed, which is good for me, because I've still got my Tharbad Riders active. So I'm going to come in for some little charges. Didn't really seem to be that devastating, that charge. Maybe we came in after the actual damage was done. Could have been. And then over here, yeah, let's go back up to 0.7 now. So from this point, I think I'll probably just be doing the battles as normal. I've got this one, I've got one more to go. So I'll try and talk a bit, I'll try and focus a bit more on just the new patch, my general hopes, and so on. So what we've got with the new patch, I should stress at this time, I knew absolutely nothing. So if you want to comment and say like, hey dude, when's the new patch coming out? When's the new version of the game coming out? I have absolutely no idea. I do intend to start trying to follow the process a lot more closely, even if it's just for the next 2 weeks or so. I hope to try and pay a bit more of attention to what's going on and see what's what. But at this time, I know nothing. Feel free to ask the question. I always appreciate it. You know, it's a comment on the video is always good for the algorithm. So, you know, ask whatever you want. But I don't think I've got anything to respond with. So you're seeing here, yeah, nice little charge. Sort of finally broken that situation on the right. My Tharbad Warhammers still absolutely beefy, very much ready to go, ready to fight. So they're just coming back on around now. And I think I want to get them up into the nobles. Now the nobles are actually being kept in check by the gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are certainly not a bodyguard tier unit, but they have AP, they have incredible armor. It's, yeah, I remember seeing this before. The Leaf Blade sword of the Rhovanion is awesome. It's something that I do adore in like fantasy. This sort of, I know it's a very subtle Leaf Blade, but it's yeah, it's something we don't really get in a lot of fantasy because, of course, it's not really something that we saw in the medieval era. You know, if you're a big fan of like Shadversity, I'm a massive fan myself. He's a great dude. Nice little charge here, just trying to whittle these guys down, but not as quickly as I'd want. Okay, no, that was pretty devastating. That was quite nice. Surprised they didn't get a rout though. He's got a great little video talking about why you don't really see leaf blades in the medieval era. So I'm not just gonna recite everything there. So yeah, I got my Warhammers now arriving up against those nobles. They did receive a little backstab by those levy skirms. Not really a fight they're gonna... Oh, doof, that guy just got clatted. But yeah, not really a fight they're gonna lose, but it's never fun to get backstabbed. And I think I backed them up with a little bit of a Greenway Garrison footman charge there. Rhovanion nobles still holding, and as I say, this is really where I'm struggling a bit, but I was so impressed with those toll keepers. because they use the image right now, the unit card image they use is the Greenway Garrison spears. I thought that they were a melee, like I thought that they were a militia unit, but maybe I should actually look at their stats sometimes, and because they've been holding their own pretty damn nicely, and I think it's very possible that's exactly what they are. Now these survivors there came over after finishing off the archers. See, I got my rangers still alive, still a few of them. They've been involved in 3 little charges, a little bit of a confrontation here and there. God, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Fuck. Even dead, the men of Cardolan look incredible. That's I don't know. I'll use that. That's quite a nice little sort of back shot. The boys just marching down into the Rhovanion. Sharpshooters there. Still 2 Sabertooth. Now we've not really been focusing on it too much. I've been missing it. But I just want to stress how many times I was targeting these guys. How much ammunition I've been pouring into the Sabertooth Riders. They are resilient guys. I've not been ignoring them. Every time they've been within crossbow range, I've had at least one of my crossbow units targeting them. I've had the Hearthguard of Amon Sul on them. They are very resilient, which I think they should be. I think that they seem like very, very powerful units, and that's exactly the way I want them to be. Tharbad Riders there coming in. They were going to be charging the Spear Levy off, but they bolted off anyway. As we don't have too much left on the field to face us. Just this remaining blob, but it still is a phalanx there. It sort of just had victory over the Tharbad Tollkeepers that were trying to keep them in check. And these men-at-arms are going to be struggling. Again, those skirmishers... I need to maybe check their... Dear me, sorry, hiccuping like crazy. I need to check the stats of those skirmishers. They're not dying too easily. I do have my cup of tea here. Let me take a quick gulp of that. Might help the hiccups. Nice. So yeah, in terms of, as I say, immediate stuff, I'm going to be trying to record this. Well, recording. Then maybe immediately after. It's still very early, but I do want to record the Christmas and New Year video today. So at some point I've got to get that done. So I need to know when it's socially acceptable to pop open a bottle of Prosecco, or probably I think I'm out. I think I've just got some red wine for today. They must have a new model. I think they do. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, yeah. So they're marching on up. Down here, some Hearthguard coming on in, and the Berserkers running off. So we'll see. I might zoom down to the shops, buy something nice, buy something celebratory, as the New Year's are meant to be. Still got a little push around, and I was very chuffed. I was very, very glad to win my first battle back, and win with Cardolan, which is a great thing for me. I really like that. I don't know. There's just something about Cardolan. I think there's something about the Cardolan aesthetic that just I feel so attached to. Something about the Cardolan lore as well that I'm just a massive fan of. And I was really, really glad to have a chance to go toe to toe with the Rhovanion. The Rhovanion? No. Rhovanion. Really, really chuffed to sort of see them, and I think Panthan did quite a nice. It's pretty typical, I would say. From what I'm seeing, these nice phalanxes, nice tribal mix, and a bit of cav there too. So I managed to sort of come out on top there, which was pretty good, I felt. Nice little break across the line as well. So finally, I can have a look and see actually what did the damage for me, because I didn't look at these straight away. Wars the Tyr Gorthad, yeah, like nice kills, but you got to keep in mind they were just gutting the basic spear levy for 100 of those kills. Hearthguard, oh damn, I wish I'd seen how many kills they actually got at range and melee as well. Greenway Garrison Footmen, or Greenway Footmen. I'll probably still call them Greenway Garrison Footmen for a while. But yeah, so the two of them doing their best, but probably these guys going up toe to toe with some of the higher tier Rhovanion pikes, which was pretty nasty for them. Tharbad Tollkeepers there. Again, they must... I mean, I know I was going up against like skirmishers and so on, but they really performed quite well for spears. Even these guys, they lasted, which is what I need my spearmen to do. Men at arms across the board, just doing okay. Like, this is what you'd expect from men-at-arms. Ow, damn, I'd want more than that. So they were really quite nicely countered by the enemy berserkers or so on. Maybe I need to have a little look again and see, you know, how those guys did get sort of sliced and diced in that way. Tharbad Warhammers, again, I didn't really use them where I should. I should have sent them in where I really needed them. You know, there was a lot of micro faults on me there, a lot of like a little bit of stress too. I think I was a bit like, oh god, you know, I'm gonna screw this up. But so I should have put them into the left where they would have done a bit better, and also that was where the nobles were. Sharpshooters, yeah, I mean, I'd actually sometimes I'd want a lot more than that. Definitely a lot more than 189. Well, definitely not more than 118. I need a bit more killing from those boys. But 260 for them. But of course the gatekeepers, you want that. And I mean, even the gatekeepers going up against those nobles for a bit. So it's quite impressive from them. Merc Cav, Jesus, what, 0? But what? No way, really? I guess, yeah, no, that was the unit that was just tying up the bloody, and 2? 2? Damn, I need to, okay, right, I'm gonna go back and look at this again and try and pull out, like, what actually happened at some of these stages. Because that's very surprising for me. And then Tharbad Riders there. I guess, like, the kills I was getting on the Sabertooth, like, the Merc Cav, they were doing their job. They're not actually there to get kills, as I say. They're just there to hold the enemy in place. And then the Tharbad Riders come in for a charge at their backs. And that's how I was actually doing the damage to the boys, to the Sabertooth Riders, yeah. So again, thank you very much for Pathan to back me up, but like to give me these tests, and we've got another one with him, which I'll just plug in straight in this after this video. We'll just have one video instead of two. No need for that. Hey there, team. So back with a this straight on the other video. Don't have to, you know, I don't have to re-explain it. Decided for the second one, I guess play it somewhat safe with an Isengard army, but this is quite an, I guess, unusual Isengard army. So first thing I saw, oh, you guys have spears now. I didn't even notice that. Okay, that's cool. So instead of like a little blade, these guys now have a big spear. I don't know if their stats have changed much, but what you're seeing, what I immediately noticed was they've trained the wargs to stand in an organized box instead of as a little mob. It used to just be the skirmishers that did that. The standard warg riders would be as a horde image or a horde formation. So nice to see them set up like that. A little bit more discipline. I'll check to see if that's the case. Yeah, it's got to be the case for all warg riders, I suspect. And then Champion's the White Hand there. I'm playing up against Khan, so I know I need something that can really go toe-to-toe with them. Maybe the... Oh god, that's very daunting. The spikes coming out all the way along it. I didn't really notice that before. But yeah, Champion's the White Hand there. Just see if we can tie up some of his really solid melee cav, or like, you know, something a bit nasty. And then Warg Riders on the other side as well. See, I wanted to go really quite Warg heavy. I wanted to really just sort of grab his cav and tear them apart. Up front, I actually decided to go pretty Archer heavy as well. Just kind of to try them out. I never really use Uruk-hai Archers, so I was like, maybe I should have gone a little bit more typical. But I was like, nah, stop it. Let's you know, go for this. Crossbows in the center though to get a bit of killing power. No longer does Isengard have the Dunlending Clansman. Now I don't know if that is a permanent change or if that is just a change while I need to sort of talk to some people and work out like what, because there's quite a lot of units missing now. I know that may be because we have added 3 factions into the test build now, and we maybe are like reaching our peak in terms of the amount of units you can actually have in the game. So that's they might just have to go. By the way, the half-orc spear guard are now the choice to make. So you no longer have the Dunlending Clansmen, or at least not currently. Do you have the Guards of Orthanc? They are no longer a 2 hit point boy though. They are just this very sort of sturdy sort of front line alongside the Spear Guard. I think they do provide a morale buff as well, so that's nice. So they're basically the only humans I've got. They're the only humans that Isengard can have now. Behind them, some Snaga Skirms. Again, I wanted 2 units of Snaga Skirms just to rattle in and do some damage. So it's quite it's a very numerous Isengard army. And you'll see again over here we've got the Uruk-hai infantry and then lots and lots and lots of Uruk-hai raiders. These guys, so Uruk-hai raiders, they're the same price currently as the Cardolan men-at-arms. Now for that cost, you're getting an extra 50 boys though, in addition to everything else. Then behind them the Uruk-hai pikemen, and then in the back the Naz-hai. I really, really, really wanted to take the Uruk-hai berserkers, who are now 3 hit points. You've got 3 of those hit points on the Uruk-hai berserkers, so they're very, very resilient. But with 1 armor value, or 1 or 0, I can't quite remember. It's a little bit daunting to take them because they can get blasted up, and no shield as well. And I was worried about the enemy having horse archers. You can just come in, target the berserkers down, wipe them out. So I decided against that, and also money. Just to have the money for them. Pathan again, he's got his Nurad front line, the Hwacha. With the new Hwacha guard. So I have no idea of the stats of these guys. I do think that they look great. Maybe we need to do something about... I don't know if we can do that. Because right now, of course, you've got the blade going through their head. Not really a big concern, not something that I think anybody's going to be worried about, but I don't know if there's anything we can do to change that. I like that they are, just the big, heavy boys, kind of matching this idea of, like the Persian engineers and stuff from 300. And they're firing right away on me. And to his side then, Nurad footmen with the halberds. In the back, Brother of the Axe, Stormguard, Vanguard, Variag warriors there with an armor upgrade. So bit of money spent on them. Brother to the Axe. I can never tell if Brotherhood units have been armor upgraded or not. I'm bad with that. I know that Spear can get twice, or can Axe get twice? I don't know. Brother of the Lance in the back. More of these halberd and pike lines. More Axe, Windblades, and Variag warriors. So, we'll start. We'll go 0.8 for now. But yeah, so I'm taking this fire. Now, the army I took had a lot of range power. Got a lot of those jabs, got a lot of archers. So I was like, shoot, I really want to use this, but God, that Hwacha is painful. You're seeing it absolutely blasting the hell out of my backlines. Now, these are Uruk-hai raiders. Now, I know they're not going to be doing the major killing for me. My major killing is going to come from, well, I guess my Snaga and my pikes. But it's, and the other Uruk-hai infantry over there. But I was just upset to lose them. They're not cheap. The Hwacha, of course, and this is the issue. Again, you can see the way that I've deployed. I deployed as this, tight, multi-layered blob instead of spread out as a line, which this is perfect for the Hwacha. I'm an absolute Hwacha, target. And I maybe should have seen that coming and deployed instead as a more spread out or more, more long line. So I'm moving forward my cavalry right now, just kind of wanting to knock them off guard a little bit, but I extend into the Chieftain Vanguard range and start dropping quick to that fire. But I mean, that's what happens with War Riders. Now, so this is where I was a little bit like, damn, what do I actually want to do here? Do I want to get stuck in or not? And I realized at that point, Panthan has brought barely any archers. The only archers he's got are on horseback. So I was like, oh shoot, I've just marched right toward him. And I probably should have just stayed back. But yeah, so I try and hold my position a bit, try and get my crossbowmen and my archers back, move up my skirms. But this is all happening pretty quick, and I just need to sort of rush up and meet him with my infantry. And I'm maybe hoping if with a bit of a concentration of force in one area before he can get over and back his boys up, might be able to get it on my favor. But with those Brother of the Axe coming in, the main advantage of my Uruk-hai infantry, and yeah, I guess so many halberds and the Nurad footmen as well. This is every enemy weaver fighting here has AP, and I'm really relying on my armor. Ow, damn! I didn't think about that. Holy smokes! So I will be dying quick to that. Naz-hai even coming forward there. I'm wanting to just send them in right away. Get this hopefully on my side. Skirms coming around the flank. I got them more tightly packed together, getting them around the flank. Got the Warg Riders there. Got a good little charge into the Variag Warriors. Getting them out of there. Yeah, a few casualties, but wasn't too upset with it. As long as they actually get out. They're a little bit jimming and jamming. But my Snaga are going to be taking a charge in response. 198 before the charge. Oh, those poor wee goblin boys. Didn't have them on guard mode or anything, so yeah, they didn't actually even get that little jab volley out. Brought down to 158. But good strong boys. They're holding. So I sort of grabbed them with my Warg Riders there, you can see. But I'm so close to the enemy, that was a bit of a risky grab. I just didn't really want him... messing around with those Brother of the Lance too much. So that's not too pretty for the Warg skirms there on the right flank. Engaging this halberd line. Maybe Uruk-hai Raiders are actually... Because you'll see throughout this, my Uruk-hai Raiders performed a lot better than I'm used to them performing. So maybe they are slightly improved than what they were before. You know, treating them really as sort of fighting Uruk-hai that are just, you know, much lighter. Not slowed down by their armor, so they can jolt around a bit. Champions of the White Hand there actually had a little confrontation with the Windblades and the Chieftain's Vanguard as well. So you can see a lot of dead Wargs and a few dead Chieftain's Vanguard. That's good to see. But I've noticed that Panthan is quite... He loves to sort of move an infantry unit alongside his cav. Now, if you were a more skilled cavalry commander than me, maybe you'd be able to sort of, tie that up, get some charges in, but there's a lot going on right now for me. And so I don't really have the time or the ability at this time. Champions of the White Hand not swinging their swords too much, boys. Come on, let's get these Windblades racked down. Now, those Windblades definitely have the ability to tie us up, to hurt us real bad. I knew that wasn't going to be an easy fight for my champions, but I was still hoping that I could maybe delete the Windblades and delete my own unit, mostly. But I guess those Windblades rely a lot on their defensive skill, whereas the champions of the White Hand are just coming in with such a heavy BAM! AP smash that they're able to parry away. Brother of the Axe actually doing quite nice. That should change shortly. Hawacha crew out of ammunition. 125 boys there. I'm getting some crossbow fire right into their face. It doesn't look like these guys are too well armored, but I didn't really want them to be mincing about in melee, really. So I've got firepower coming into them wherever I can get it. Over there, my Uruk-hai archers. See, this is probably what I should have done here. Is really squish them together. I've still got them all spread out. At this point, I should have squished them together so that I can move them around a little bit more freely and cover them more easily. That Hawacha crew getting in amongst my crossbowmen, but the pikes are coming in to sort it out. And the pikes should be able to do pretty good work up against that. Over here, left side, a nice sort of pretty fair confrontation until the Stormguard arrive. It was going quite nicely in my favour. My pikes outranging his halberds, getting in there, jabbing about. I think I actually had a look. The Khandish Sukan doesn't have... It's actually missing a few units as well. So I need to talk to somebody in the dev team actually. Like, are we... Or just somebody more knowledgeable than I. You know, some of these missing units, have they had to be taken out to allow for the inclusion of the Dwarves of the Blue Mountains, Dol Guldur and Rhovanion? Or are we possibly going to see some of those guys coming back at any stage? So the Brother of the Lance down to 14 boys, a little bit spread out right now. We're doing an okay job of rinsing them here and there. But you can see this right flank is not pretty for me. My Boar Spear Guard and my Raiders there getting hacked and smashed into by the halberds. Again, not really. I mean, this Spear Guard, did I armor them up? I'm sure I did. Yeah, you can see those Spear Guard are all armored up, so I did spend a little bit more money on that. But once again, enemy, the Nurad forces just come into play with so much armor piercing that perhaps it wasn't the best course of action. Maybe I should have tried to just ditch all of my armor upgrades and grabbed another unit. Maybe it helped me find a little bit of money for that unit of Berserkers I was so wanting. Over here, unit of Archers still in play, but they're just kind of waiting for these Chieftain's Vanguard to run out of ammunition, and then they can come and slam me down, or the Windblades, who have been very victorious up against the Warg Riders, of course. Oh, That was my general dropping. Looks like the Stormguard sliced him down. So it's not too nice for some of my my more basic units that I brought today. Normally, Isengard's not really going to have to worry too much about morale, but this is definitely a moment where it will. Again, Stormguard up against the Naz High. It's a nice counter for one another. Well, both of them are going to be coming in with that heavy AP smacks. Both of them relying on armor. But, I mean, Stormguard, they're not... Are they halberdiers still? Or... I think I remember hearing that the Stormguard are actually... they've been switched. They're just like big axemen now, are they? I'll need to look. Because the way that they're attacking makes me think that they're axemen. And they're no longer really sort of coming at you with that halberd attack animation. But yeah, okay, cool. And you see over on the left, yeah, this is getting a bit dicey. This is where I was pretty strong before, but now that the Stormguard are there and some more reinforcements, it's getting a little bit scary. Let's go to 0.7 now. And my real need at this point is just to get my snag ammunition used. You've not seen it happen, but that unit that we had over there, the unit of snag that we had over there that got blasted by the Blood of the Lance, they have routed off. And I think overall they maybe used 1 or 2 volleys. So that's, I know snag are cheap, but you kind of need them to use their ammunition. And these guys are still at about 50% ammo. So I need to just get them on... They're not on fire at will, of course. Well, they're on fire at will, but I'm wanting to pick their targets. Want to make sure I'm getting the most out of their ammunition. But in all honesty, if I could just have these guys rapid fire, I don't care what you go for. Just don't give me friendly fire. Just get those jabbies out, boys. Unfortunately, ooh, getting a little bit of friendly fire there. I think I should have gone for the halberds, and I think I do switch. Yeah, you're seeing these guys switching over to the halberds now. Crossbows still active. Again, I've got quite a lot of ammunition on my crossbows. That they need to get used up. Over there, the wargs getting some little charges into the back. Oh, damn, did I realize I was charging this? Oh, I didn't realize there was Stormguard in there. I was going for these Variag warriors, and I was surprised that they didn't rout. That was the thing that I was a bit upset when I saw when I got the charge in. I was like, damn, why didn't they break? Why didn't they break? But maybe it was because there's still Stormguard fighting amongst them that they were content to hang around. Because I needed to get them off the back of my front line here. Because you can see in a fair engagement, my Uruk-hai are doing what they do best. They're showing, yeah, dude, we are the fighting Uruk-hai of Isengard. You know, the good old chosen of Saruman. So they're doing nice up against these undisciplined purple boys from the Far East. Down to the last 2,000 frames of the scrap. Again, yeah, like I'm interested to see what I end up getting kill wise from these raiders. What I will maybe have to do is do a check on stats. I mentioned that in the last one, but I won't do that for everybody. But I think I definitely want to do that for, say, Rudauer and Cardolan, just so that I understand, you know, like, have the capabilities of some of these units changed, even if the names and the models haven't changed. Like, what are they actually capable of? And so yeah, you can see here now he has actually been victorious in the Cav game. Those last few Windblades ripped my bloody Champions of the White Hand apart over here. Was this? Yeah, this was the confrontation. I mean, I dropped a few of his Windblades, but no, they ripped my poor Warg boys. A new one there. Yeah, routing off the field. Oh, let me just zoom out and zoom in so the minimap fixes itself. But yeah, it was and yeah, I'm just not able to protect my ranged power now. And that's kind of been the big deciding factor for this fight. I think, yeah, because it's clear. Unfortunately, I have not been victorious in this confrontation. I've got a few more scraps left to give. I still fight it out for the last 1,000 frames, but this is clearly not going to be going my way. I'm actually... no, not winning here on this side anymore. And the Guards War Tank probably were a big reason for my ability to actually hold here, even with AP. Because I notice the way I talk about AP sometimes, you know, I call myself out on this a bit. The way I refer to AP a lot is like, oh, it makes armor worthless. No, it just cuts it in half. So you still, if you've got bloody 12 armor, however much you've got, you know, you're still benefiting from a fair bit of that. You're just not benefiting from it as much as you would otherwise. But yeah, so, oh dear me, good little charge into my backs there. So yeah, I think that that was really my two big problems with this was one, well, three, I guess. One, taking too much of a ranged power from my force. I think maybe instead of that, maybe instead of 3 archers and 2 javelins, maybe I should have just taken, just dropped an archer. Just have one unit of archers, 1 crossbowman, and then 2 javs. Also, it was keeping my javelins spread out at the start. You know, they're such a numerous unit, I don't need to spread them out. I kind of, in a way, you kind of want the enemy to use ammunition on them, so I should have kept them together so that I could be more reactive with them. I was very slow with them because they were so spread out over such a long area, I couldn't really move them around. So then 2, getting stressed out by the Hwacha. I should have just taken a breath. You know, yeah, he's going to deal a lot of damage to me, but not super fast. So I should have just taken a breath and maybe spread my boys out a bit differently. But I should have realised he doesn't. I beat him in the range game. I've invested so much in my archers. Yeah, he's got the Hwacha, but that Hwacha is going to run out of ammunition soon, and I'm not gonna kill it. No matter what I do, I'm not going to be able to stop that Hwacha using up its ammunition. So I should have just chilled out, spread my boys out, taken the fire, and then taken it more carefully. Used my rangers nicely instead of because what I did was I shunted forward. I sort of moved myself out of position, so I gave him a nice opportunity to hit me where I wasn't ready, and hit me in such a way that I couldn't use my range power. Because overall, I think I could have done a lot more damage with my archers than he did with his Hwacha. So that was number 2, and then number 3 was just failing to adequately sort of protect my archers. Then, you know, I should have tried to try my best instead of just taking engagements. Like you're seeing, damn those pikes. You know, some of my engagements I was coming out really quite nicely, but I think I should have tried instead to form more of a front line and rely on my archer power, rely on my javelins instead of rely on my infantry, because that's not what I built my army around. But yeah, so those were my 3 sort of whoopsie-daisies moments. So we can see, yeah, Jesus Christ, those pikes absolutely rocked. But that's what you'd expect from them. Nas High, yeah, going toe-to-toe, like doing some good work, but going toe-to-toe with the Storm Guard as well is going to hurt you. Half-orc Spear Guard, yeah, but I mean they're the Spear Guard. They're not going to be racking up good kills. 71 is, oh sorry, no, that's the Guards of Warthank even, yeah. But they're just there to take a beating, just be defensive. The Raiders actually, yeah, like performing kind of well, you know, so not bad. But you can see the Snagga, 70, oh okay, but 9, that's yeah, negligible. They were barely there. So yeah, then archers and crossbows, just not enough damage done from my crossbows and my archers. You saw in the previous game, you know, I need my sharpshooters to do that work. I need my crossbowmen to do work here. Warg Riders there, that was one of them that got that charge off on the Variag boys. And the champions got a few little charges off here and there, but really quite nicely dealt with by the Windblades. I think I should have not tried to take cavalry fights. I should have used my wargs and my champions much more defensively and tried to like fight under like archer support. Shoot his Windblades. Don't really engage them with the champions of the White Hand, you know? Just keep the champions of the White Hand in position so that you can't charge my archers. Type of vibe. But all in all, yeah, a lot of fun. So again, thanks for Panfan. 1, to make sure that I'd installed everything correctly, because I'm always a bit worried. And then 2, yeah, for giving me those 2 scraps. They were pretty good. So yeah, thank you guys very much, and I will see you later.